Our brains are just incredible, right? I mean, they're capable of composing symphonies, sending rockets to Mars, the whole deal. But what if I told you that this amazing piece of hardware we all have comes with some hidden software bugs, little glitches in our thinking that can make us do weird things, make bad decisions, miss stuff that's right in front of our faces, and believe things that just aren't true? So, you ready to do a little debugging on your own mind? Let's get into it.
Let me just start by asking you something. When you look around, when you're watching a scene unfold, how much of it do you think you're really taking in? Most of us, we feel pretty confident that we see what's right there. But the reality is, well, it's a little more surprising than that.
50%. That number represents the people in a now famous experiment who completely, totally missed a gorilla. And I'm not kidding. A person in a full-on gorilla suit walked into the middle of a video, pounded its chest, and then just walked right off. And half the people watching, who were told to count basketball passes, had no idea. They missed it completely. Now, this wasn't because there was anything wrong with their eyesight. It's because of something called the illusion of attention. See, we don't actually see everything. We see what our brain decides to focus on. And that's the big takeaway here. Our brain is constantly running these little filtering programs, these hidden bugs, and it doesn't even ask for our permission. So today, we're going to drag some of the most common ones out into the light. Let's start with a bug that's really sneaky. It traps us by using our own past against us. It's the ultimate enemy of quitting, even when quitting is by far the smartest thing you can do. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. You know that little voice in your head? The one that says, "Ugh, but I've already invested so much." Or, "Come on, we've come this far. We can't stop now." That's it. We let our past investments totally dictate our future decisions, even when every single sign is screaming, "Turn back." And this quote right here, it just nails the emotional core of the sunk cost fallacy. It's not really about losing the money or the time, is it? It's about pride. It's about that deep, gut-level fear of having to admit we made a mistake.
You know, this bias is so powerful, it's even got another name, the Concorde effect. For years, the British and French governments knew that the supersonic jet project was basically a financial black hole. But they just kept pouring billions and billions into it. Why? To save face. They just couldn't bring themselves to admit defeat. And it's a perfect illustration of how we do the exact same thing, just on a smaller scale. Like, forcing yourself to finish a terrible movie just because you paid for the ticket.
All right, so if our obsession with the past can cloud our judgment, our attachment to what we currently believe can be even more blinding. Let's look at the next bug, the one that loves to build echo chambers all around us. This one's called confirmation bias. It's our brain's natural tendency to just gobble up information that supports what we already think and to completely ignore anything that contradicts it. So, for example, if you believe people are basically good, you'll see proof of it everywhere, every single day. If you believe they're bad, you'll find plenty of proof for that too. And the internet, with its personalized feeds, has put this bug on absolute steroids, creating these perfect custom-made realities for every single one of us. So how in the world do we fight this? Well, the literary critic Arthur Quiller Couch gave writers some pretty brutal advice. Murder your darlings. What he meant was, you have to be ruthless. You have to cut out those sentences you love for the good of the whole story. For us, it means we have to be willing to kill our most cherished ideas. We have to actively go looking for evidence that proves us wrong. It's hard, for sure, but it's really the only way to break free from the echo chamber. So far, we've been digging into the bugs that are running inside our own heads. But these glitches, they don't just vanish when we're in a group. In fact, sometimes they get amplified and create a whole new mess of problems. I mean, think about this for a second. Why do sitcoms still use laugh tracks? We all know it's fake, right? And yet, studies show it actually makes us more likely to laugh. Why? It's because of a mental shortcut called social proof. We look to what other people are doing to figure out how we should act. If they're all laughing, hey, maybe we should be laughing too. It can be a useful shortcut, but it can also be incredibly dangerous. Because when social proof gets taken to the extreme, you get something called groupthink. Just look at the Bay of Pigs fiasco. You had some of the most intelligent people in the US government unanimously approve a plan that, looking back, was just completely absurd. The invasion was an absolute disaster. How did so many smart people get something so terribly wrong? Well, they were trapped in the grip of groupthink. The team spirit got so intense that these illusions just took over. They felt invincible, like they couldn't fail. They created an illusion of unanimity.
Since nobody was speaking up, everyone just assumed they all agreed. And deep down, there's that powerful primal fear of being the one person to rock the boat, of being kicked out of the group. So good ideas and rational doubts get suppressed, and terrible decisions get a green light. Okay, so we have exposed some of our brain's biggest bugs: sunk costs, confirmation bias, groupthink. It's a lot. But here's the good news. We can debug our thinking. There is an incredibly powerful, almost elegant way to fight back against these errors.
And it all comes down to this concept, via negativa. It's Latin for the negative path. And the idea is that instead of trying to add more information, more rules, more complexity, true wisdom often comes from subtraction. It's not about learning what to do. It's about learning what not to do.
You know, think of Michelangelo. They say that when he was asked how he created his masterpiece, David, he said something brilliant. He said he just chiseled away everything that wasn't David. And that is exactly how we can approach our own thinking. We don't need to go searching for some perfect mental model. We just need to identify our errors, our biases, and start chiseling them away. And hey, don't just take my word for it. That's a quote from Warren Buffett, talking about himself and his partner Charlie Munger, two of the most successful investors in history. Their genius isn't necessarily that they're amazing at solving problems. It's that they are masters at systematically avoiding the situations where all these mental bugs can take over.
So you see, this isn't just a cool theory. It's a real, actionable strategy. It's pretty simple. Step 1, learn to spot the biases we've talked about today. Step 2, make a real, conscious effort to avoid them, to chisel them out of your decision-making process. And step 3, just let the good stuff happen. When you eliminate the downside, the upside has a funny way of taking care of itself.
And that really brings us to the final thought. We've talked about the trap of past costs, the cozy comfort of our echo chambers, the intense pressure of the group. All of these are just extra pieces of stone that are hiding the statue of better thinking underneath. So the question I want to leave you with is, what's the first error you're going to chisel away?